This is noise. This is curse. This is talk. This is red. This is pale. This is ache. This is laugh. This is slow. This is shock. This is thrill. This is fire. This is break.
I realized a couple days ago when I was reading that, the students made me aware that they didn't understand a lot of the words I was saying. So I'll try and explain some of the words if they'd be helpful. This first one is the first poem in the book. It's called Lysistrata Motley. And the Lysistrata was an Aristophanes play. And in the play, the title character persuades the women of Athens and Sparta to withhold sex until everybody makes peace. Very clever. And Motley, y'all know Motley Crue. Motley is just sort of a hodgepodge of disparate elements. So, Lysistrata Motley. Even the quitch loves sashaying belly blade to blade belly when wind is low. Most days we fail to notice that elusive Rastafarian canoodle. The poems therefore darting away, sunken through the halls. Our words becoming escapes, not spore. Why can't ourselves intersect with the exterior? Because something is sclerotic, strung high in the Burundi Salvador trees, where dewdrops are slaver. Listen up, the Egyptians jettisoned a mummy's cerebrum, knowing the heart should do all thinking. I won't read that one. Let's see. This is one about just, I don't know. It was a George Bush poem. The eponymous heroine. Her again, Mercy, she and her silver people are evermore waiting, lipless, high above. I'm an umber study in contrast, always down for redesign, a counterfeit Solaris. But take note of what I desire. Tell me I'm the one you want, the penultimate one you need. Then do as you please, rapidement. Speed is the next best thing to love, as water beads perfecting while it runs. Let's deny the omnipresent apocalypsalusa, every war's echo of innocence born limbless. I'll be less luscious and oviparous, shamed free, because there's nowhere we can race to that's painless. In this poem, I was writing about how I feel when I have cedar fever. I get insomnia from cedar fever, which is actually a documented medical effect of cedar fever, and I become a horrible person, and even more horrible than I usually am, I suppose. And so I wrote in this poem about my cedar disposition, which y'all in this room understand, but for some reason the critics seized on it, and they'd write these really nice reviews, and they'd say, well, what the heck is this about the cedar disposition? And I thought, well, if you're going to focus on something that's incomprehensible in one of my poems, why cedar? It just didn't make any sense to me at all. Even a critic in the New York Times focused on the cedar disposition, so he just has to move to Texas, clearly. So, slurry.
All critics come to Texas.
And get cedar fever.
Right.
I'll not be covert and thus your capital. Take your pill, today is my cedar disposition. Only halfway there, neither up nor down. In our neighbors' fields, snap peas, sweat, and slumber, fattening on gingered sky. Yet I stride, sardonic as acetate, badgers heating each shoulder. Is this how nature reveals herself to science? By clawing apart her puffy Oxford, disclosing breasts that seem to him like grenades? You tell me there are pipelines which transport the insoluble by submerging it in water. Please turn on the tap. this poem is called After the Caves, and it's based on a Frida Kahlo painting where she has a necklace of thorns and there's a dead hummingbird lashed to her neck. It's really an extraordinary painting. And I wrote it about a miscarriage I had. And there's a word in here the students told me the other day they didn't understand. It's plenary. It means complete or whole. After the caves. The hummingbird is dead, lashed to this neck, wings labial, framing the scene, dozens of daisy-chained, margarine-gray moths. If born with plenary, the infant daughter might have had a rib like mine. Instead, this portrait of woman as table, carved by opener of the body. Surely the nipple once pierced is stigmata, a brand of self-made exile. Clasp me this way, Father. No, that way. Let's readjust. Let's see. This is a poem I wrote about a friend I had many years ago. I've since lost touch, and we went to an Easter party, and she revealed that her daughter had gone on a year abroad, and she was in Europe, and she had vanished. And they have never found this girl. It's really terrible. And so we were at an Easter party, and everyone was drinking too much because they knew about this, what had happened. Failed ambush against flamingos. Stabat Mater, the mother remained standing, yet a lymphatic horizon, your lips shivering as if in gelatin. Paper grass, coconut eggs, a bleeding from others' beaky mouths, and the news that your too-grown daughter has wandered. Strayed, I reassure, not forfeited, just briefly subsumed into herself mezzotint. While back here at the corral, only maraschinos are frolicsome. To cheer we maternal fire-eaters, pillar-bound, hocus pocus crocus, dear friend, so shall we effervesce? Remember, there was no retreating, only celebrating. On the long ago days, our wombs, like hyacinths, became starred. And I'm so ashamed in retrospect that I was trying to not make light of what she was going through, but trying to tell her, oh, she'll come back and they'll find her. Well, they didn't. This is a poem about a terrible fight I had with my husband. And I can't even remember what it was about. Something ridiculous, I'm sure, on my part. But it always, a marriage can go on. And when I was in high school, I lived near the beach and used to collect abalones. So that's, and they're so beautiful with their iridescence. Always a strapping apricot can be found, clamped into ground like a windswept toad. Through weep fury, striving to train an eye on marriage's waxen promise, the lovelies are coming, the lovelies are coming, locating comfort in the Boolean requirement that I rise, collect, and mix for baking, and in reasoning that it's impossible to savor rum cake while mourning. After all, the past tells that at any moment the marital body can be scratched, deeply, of course, to drag forth a sugared bone of abalone.